of the bill. Hugh, this is such an interesting story. I'm curious your take on how much of this is government doing just in a digital version what government normally does, and how much of it is unusual and odd.
Hey, John, good to be with you. So I think let's first of all, acknowledge, the unusual aspect of getting these documents. So these are agreements between Apple and 4 states that have agreed that signed on to their plan to basically digitize your state-issued ID and put it into the iPhone onto the Wallet app. So, as you know, Apple's known for its secrecy. So, we managed to get some of these. And basically what they show is what I think is remarkable is the degree to which Apple is really in the driver's seat when it comes to calling the shots on these. So the states that have agreed to offer this program have to, commit to a wide-ranging series of measures, including standing up, creating and maintaining these tech systems to issue these virtual credentials, putting project managers on this to answer Apple inquiries, marketing and promoting the use of these Apple IDs, and it goes on. And ultimately, the contracts that we've reviewed are very clear. This is all at the state's expense. So if you were to take a step back, think about this. This is essentially the states subsidizing the new feature that Apple has talked about, boasting about, in its developers conference just in June.
Interesting. Or is it Apple subsidizing states transitioning to digital IDs, which, I mean, I don't know if they could do that on their own, but if you view this as a government contract where these states are contracting with Apple to adopt their system for digital ID, then I guess you would expect them to pay and have to implement the system in the way that this platform designates.
Well, John, I have no doubt that the end user to these will be probably delighted by the ease of use and the ability to verify your identity in a variety of remote and in-person scenarios. But why should the taxpayer be on the hook for that for a technology that's going to go to benefit the Apple, right? Its investors and its shareholder base, and less than half of the population who uses the Apple iOS. This doesn't say anything about Google or anything, or the Android or anything like that. So I just think it's an interesting approach to this. And if you look at other countries have pursued national digital IDs, identification cards, but from a platform agnostic approach, so that it's not necessarily a $250 trillion, $2.5 trillion tech company that is taking advantage of this.
But have they been good? Have they functioned well, I guess is the question. Hugh, it's Deirdre, by the way. Do you remember in the early days of the pandemic, we had this sort of novel partnership between Apple and Google, and they were going to partner to do COVID tracking. And this was seen as the best sort of technical solution. But there were so many questions around privacy and how they were going to do it, and perhaps hold up with government entities. Do you think that this could go the way of that and just not really get off the ground because of all of these concerns?
Well, I think if you read the contract, it's really clear, and Apple is super prescriptive in what it needs to stand up this program, and it's requiring the states to work with law enforcement, for instance, and IRS, for instance, to get everybody on the same page. I think it's going to be successful, and I think the real question is, you bring up the idea of, well, it's got to work, right? And I think this is a real debate about what we're willing to give up in pursuit of efficiency and efficacy versus just really the principles of whether or not the government should be ceding the ability to verify identity to a sole private tech corporation.